Hey, this is Will Knight, and we're back with another podcast of All About Nothing. And today, my guest is Matt Conroy. And introduce yourself.
I'm Matt Conroy. I'm a Democrat. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the 5th Congressional District. Primary is on March 17, 2026. Do not forget to vote.
And how do people find you?
So you can go to my campaign website, mattconroyforcongress.com. Same on all the socials, where they're all linked in our website. Donation page, volunteer sign up. Again, Matt Conroy, CONROY, forcongress.com.
So we're going to get right into housing.
Love it. Let's do it.
A lot of people are in housing across the United States. Rents are going up, mortgages are going up, and our president of the United States has just mentioned a 50-year mortgage, which is
so dumb,
absolutely ridiculous.
So dumb.
Tell me about that. What's your thoughts on housing?
So you brought up the 50-year mortgage. Let's just start with that. Let's get that. Right. That is a terrible deal for Americans. If you took out a $400,000 mortgage, traditional 30-year mortgage, anywhere from a 6 to a 7% interest rate, which is what it is now, you would end up paying roughly $900,000 out of pocket between principal and interest. If you did a 50-year mortgage, which would charge you a higher interest rate because it's spread over a longer term, you would end up paying closer to $1.5 million. That is costing you way more money. It's a terrible, terrible idea, and we need to call it out for what it is.
You know what's interesting is I see people thinking about it, or it's being discussed on TV now, and the problem is people don't understand that they're paying down their interest first, the interest rate.
Yes.
Very minuscule goes to the principal.
Correct.
A lot goes to that interest.
Oh, yeah.
So paying off a 50-year mortgage, you're paying off this much interest and this little principal.
Yeah, it's all interest. It's all going to the banks. Like, nothing is going to help you.
And inflation has a lot to do with that. And I think that's the reason why the president actually mentioned the 50-year mortgage, because we're going into inflation. Especially when you see like JP Morgan Chase, BMO, Bank of America, and these CEOs, they're watching the bank accounts dwindle and the credit card debt's going up.
Correct.
How do you get into Congress? What's your thoughts? How do you solve that problem?
So right now our government is doing everything they can to solve the housing crisis except what they need to do. There's one solution. Build more housing. That's the only way you're going to solve this issue, is to build more housing. So how can you do that? Well, there's a couple easy ways that are already on the books that they could do. Implement national zoning laws. So to give you an idea about zoning laws, in Chicago, we have roughly like 140, 150 unique zoning ordinances. The entire country of Japan has just 12. An entire country of 100 million people has 12 zoning ordinances. We have 150. That makes it more expensive for developers to build, takes longer time, and costs you money buying properties.
That is so true. I did not know they had 12 laws.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it covers everything they need. And if you've ever had an opportunity to be in Japan, like go to Japan, I've been fortunate enough. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic. It's like you can get around. They invest heavily in mass transit. They invest heavily in their people. They don't have their homeless population or unhoused. Like it is next to nothing. That is how you make investments in people. So in addition to that, like the federal government, when Democrats are back in power, I would propose to not only restore HUD's funding, but double it, giving it a budget of $150 billion. That's an increase of $75 billion. We just gave $40 billion to Argentina farmers. So
don't let me talk about that.
Another $35 billion to invest in housing, which could build another 500,000 homes, hopefully getting 800,000 people off the street. You could end homelessness in this country for an investment of $20 billion, between $20 and $40 billion a year, depending on which study you've seen, to end homelessness in this country. Putting a roof over someone's head, giving them a place to live, a place they can call their own, drastically changes their lives and makes it so much better. And at the very least, that is what government is designed to do, to help make people's lives better when they are struggling. And it is not doing that for us.
No, it's not. And how do people, when they have their politicians or their political representatives, it all has to be on the same page. Now you have Republicans on one side, Democrats on the other, independents around the country here and there. how do you get everybody on the same page? Or the potential to get everybody on the same page?
Yeah, so let's use housing as the example.
Okay.
I actually think Republicans are on the housing page. You look at states like Texas, Florida, and North Carolina, they've built a ton of housing. That's how they were able to attract a lot of people out of COVID. So due to them building more housing, in the year 2030, when we recount the census, they're going to gain roughly between 7 to 10 electoral college votes, whereas states like New York, California, Illinois, and Oregon are going to lose those electoral college votes. That's the ball game right there. That means that Democrats are never winning a presidential election ever again if they don't get serious about housing. Republicans are there. We are not.
Campaign finance. That's my next one.
Okay.
So tell me about campaign finance. What's your thoughts on that? Because I dislike campaign finance.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it should just be a limit, and one-time limit, and that's it. Or you have, you reach that limit and you're done.
yeah. I agree. I think that, quite frankly, the way that our system is designed is the rich, the powerful, the wealthy, corporations, lobbyists, people who tend to have bigger checkbooks have more of a voice because they can cut these bigger checks that, quite frankly, people like me or you cannot. And we need to level the playing field because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if you have a politician who's funded predominantly by corporations, PACs, super PACs, they're going to always side with them because that's how they further their political career and how they don't actually address our interests. We don't have high-speed rail because our politicians take donations from airlines that lobby against it. Credit cards, banks, you name it. We need to get money out of politics.
Another question I have is a little bit off topic, is campaigns can be tough. What has been inspiring to you to keep going?
So, predominantly it's been two things for me. Number one, it's when you actually go outside and you talk to people and you realize that they are feeling the same way. They are ready for some change. They want things to be different. They want life to be more affordable. They want more housing. They want a better community. And that's what we're all striving for. Secondly, I've been volunteering with the neighborhood, in the neighborhood here with the local high school as part of the Safe Passages, helping get people from South and West Side neighborhoods that have been targeted by ICE getting to and from school, giving rides, standing outside, walking them to the train with whistles. Like just seeing the community come together to help out those people and help, particularly those children, living through fear that they're being targeted just because of the color of their skin. Like, that has been so uplifting to me, and just seeing the people out and everyone combining for it, whistle packing events, things like that in the neighborhood, like it's just been so great to see, and it's just reassuring that with all the bleak and dark news that you see on Fox and everything, that there is still some good out there, and that we're all working to make our community a better place.
Voters, you're new. Voters don't know who you are.
Sure.
And I praise you for going out. I marched, I went out, I have two whistles, one in my car, one in my house all the time.
Ours are hanging right by the door.
So
when we go out.
It's interesting because people come in the United States or outside, or even, people first time coming to Chicago, and they hear all this bad crime. Crime is everywhere. It's, bullets are flying everywhere. And it's just
Chirac.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Or they look at TV and they think, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Which I worked in the city for 30 plus years. And we have crime.
Yeah, every city does.
I wrote a letter to Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth to ask them to make carjacking a federal crime.
Yeah.
Sponsored that bill. Make carjacking a federal crime. When you have a mother of two, or a single mother, and they just bought their car, or a used car or a new car, and they're trying to get to work, and that car is being jacked. It's just like she paid $30,000 then, which now is like $50,000 or $60,000 for a car.
Average just crossed $50,000. Yeah.
And it's a 5-year note.
Yeah.
And now they want to make it 8 years or 7 years. This is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's amazing how we need to do more.
Yeah.
And the immigration is here in Chicago, and this is like, you're going into peaceful neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And everybody's trying to do their best, whatever, work, education. But to see them going after kids in school, or the kids wondering, are their parents going to be home when they come back?
Yeah.
And these are U.S. citizens that they're kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. They're not going after the worst of the worst. Like that's how they sold it. And even ICE's own numbers and the Department of Homeland Security's own numbers show that over 70% of the people they have detained have no criminal record. So that is by definition not the worst of the worst. Just the other day, a couple miles from here, they chased a teacher into a preschool. She's not the worst of the worst. This is not a humane immigration strategy. And for everyone saying it's exactly what we have to do, in the middle of 2024, Democrats had a bipartisan immigration bill through the Senate that was ready to be signed. And the only reason it wasn't is because Donald Trump and his little pocket-sized Joseph Goebbels, Stephen Miller, want to treat immigrants like they're the villains.
You're absolutely right about that. And I feel like this political climate is lost its integrity, lost its accountability.
Yeah, you're right. And I actually want to circle back also to something you said earlier, talking about crime in the city. You know, over 80% of the gun violence in the city of Chicago comes from illegal firearms. These are guns that are purchased off books, off sale, through private gun shows, backroom deals outside of a little gun dealership so they don't have to log it. This is the type of stuff that Democrats need to be pushing to reform. Red flag laws, mandatory waiting periods, limiting assault rifles. Okay, look, I'll give you an analogy. I lived in New York City. Manhattan's an island.
Well, you're talking to a gun owner.
Yeah, you should.
You're talking to a gun owner.
And responsible gun owners should absolutely have access. Look, if gasoline was made illegal in New York City, they would restrict the sale of it. You have to have a certain license. You have to have whatever it may be. But how are you going to stop the gas that's coming in from New Jersey and coming in from Connecticut? Now just replace that with guns, Chicago, and Indiana.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. And that's how we have to realistically frame the argument, is that, quite frankly, Republicans refuse to make our community safer. We are ready to fight for it, but they're not willing to work with us.
And I don't think any gun owner would object to a waiting period.
Yeah.
Or background check. I've done it. I have 3 guns in my house, and I go skeet shooting.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting how responsible gun owners, when you go into a shop, they take their time, they know what they want, or they order it or whatever, but it has to come through. And a lot of people don't know this. You could buy a gun online.
Yep.
But it will not come to your house.
Yeah.
It has to go to a gun shop.
Yep.
And that shop has to accept it and then to give it to you.
Yeah.
But it's still a 14-day waiting period. And I don't have a problem with that.
No.
You know?
Because you're getting the gun for something that you value, whether it's...
Yes.
But you're going to be a responsible gun owner. Same thing for people who are going hunting. Like, they're applying for their permits months in advance. They know they're not like, oh shit, it's hunting season, I got to go get a gun today. Right. No, they have that. They've been passed down from generation to generation. And those are the people that are responsible and make sure that they lock it up and keep it safe. And if someone wants to own a gun and is going to do it responsibly, that's fine. But we need help to make sure that not only the people who are doing it irresponsibly are going to use it for violence, but that we're going to track the gun sales in this country. We're going to take away the protections that the immune protections that the gun manufacturers have, because they're complicit in this.
Yeah,
they really are.
You know what's interesting? I have a story for you. My nephew, he came in to run a marathon. Mm-hmm. So he brought me some venison.
Okay.
So he shot the deer.
Yeah.
And he goes, you need to come up hunting with me. I said, yeah, I will, but I have a bow and arrow and I have a gun. I said, so I'll take my bow and arrow and you can take your gun and see who kills one first, the animal. And it's interesting because the other day he sent me 2 deers that he shot. And it was interesting because I was like, when can I come up and pick up some meat? You know?
just didn't want to bring the bow and arrow.
Right,
I'll just take the meat.
Right.
You did all the work.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because even when traveling, my gun's in the back, in my trunk or in the cargo space.
Sure.
And I have my license. So if I happen to get pulled over, and a lot of people don't know this, your license, when the police officer runs your license, it tells them not whether you can still carry or you're a gun owner or not.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's interesting because, I have everything there, and then I make sure to tell, the police officer,
Yeah.
There's ways of saying I'm carrying or I'm not carrying.
Yeah.
And I don't say gun at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
They ask a question and I'm like, it's in my cargo space.
Okay.
I never mention that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I think responsible gun owners are very aware of how to carry a gun.
Sure.
How to travel with a gun. And they're using that gun for either sporting, hunting, or a sport.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, and because you don't hear a lot about that in the news. It's always the gun violence, in and around cities that they're referring to. So, again, if someone's going to be responsible and follow the law and is going to be safe with it and not be a danger to those around while having a permit to carry or actually carrying a weapon, that's exactly how the law should be designed. But it also needs to be designed to stay out of the hands of the people who are going to misuse it, and that's quite frankly what our elected officials haven't been able to do.
True. You're absolutely right. What do you think, you're running in what district?
5th Congressional District.
5th Congressional District. What do you think is the most important issues of your district?
So right now, I think it's housing for this district. So in the city of Chicago, since the year 2000, the price of rent has gone up 3 times faster than income. The price to buy a home has more than doubled. These neighborhoods are getting, people who have lived here and rented in these neighborhoods have gotten priced out. These are people who have been here for 25, 30 years, who have raised kids, and now rents are becoming too high because we have made it impossible to build housing. Less than a mile here, there's a development site right on Armitage Avenue. Used to be Lincoln Yards, now it's Foundry Park. It cleared environmental review several years ago, and it's still vacant and there's nothing there. We need to make it easier to build housing, lower costs for people who are looking for housing, and people who complain about property taxes. The more residents you bring in, the less your property taxes you pay.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up. You have anything you want to add? Anything you want to talk about? I have several notes here. So.
I just want to leave people with kind of a little bit of a message. We're running against a long-time incumbent, someone who's been there for a while, someone who is the Democratic establishment, someone who takes money from the banks that charge you ATM fees, someone who takes money from the airlines who charge you luggage fees and fees to just pick a seat, who nickel and dime you for everything, a candidate or a representative who takes money to enable and provide weapons to fund a genocide. If you want change, if you are tired of those things, do not vote for the status quo. You have to vote for the change. You have to support the change. And I know change can be scary, but it's the only way forward from getting out of this status quo that has left millions of us behind. And I'm hoping to be the representative that not only this district needs, but also this country needs. Don't forget to vote on Election Day on March 17, 2026.
And that's it for All About Nothing, and we will talk to you guys next week.